Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
What a world. Might as well just get that out there. What a world.
What a world.
It's weird. It's very strange. And it has very, very strange people in it.
Yeah.
Remember the weird woman from last week? She was talking about, she had some stupid song that I think she just made up as she went along.
We hope that's the
hopefully.
excuse.
Because otherwise, that was really bad if you put any thought.
White, yes, you are racist, even if you think you're woke. We all benefit from oppression. Pretending you're not racist only makes racism grow.
What a moron.
So you don't think that
is
she
stupid.
had the words
ahead
of time and
I hope not.
Rehearsed?
I hope not. Now she's back. And is this another song?
No,
She doesn't sing this one? She's upset about her cat.
This is ridiculous. Watch this.
So I just had a really moment where I lost my temper. I was trying to do something and my cat wouldn't move. And I lost my temper on him and I yelled at him for no reason.
Oh.
And I know that sounds so dumb.
It does.
But I feel awful.
She feels
and
awful.
he's
And you're racist.
Oh, yeah.
So
hiding from me.
Oh, no, he's hiding from her. I'd hide from you, too, right?
I know how I look right now. But he doesn't deserve my irritation. Nobody really does. Sometimes we just feel really and we react. But the with him being a cat.
Remember, she yelled at her cat.
He doesn't. I don't know if he understands me when I say I'm sorry. But humans do.
It's a good point.
Make sure you apologize to people when you treat them badly.
Oh.
Do.
okay.
Why would I listen to anything she has to say? Because she's white and obviously.
And she's a racist.
Thank you.
She's a stinking racist and a catist.
You think she's been committed yet?
She's a cat abuser. She should be.
Yeah.
If she hasn't been. She certainly should be.
Oh, that's sad.
This, then we have another example of somebody who's pretty sad and incredibly bizarre. I think we mentioned this briefly yesterday. The woman who's wearing a sequined full-length gown. She's wearing like a prom dress to go get a vaccine shot. And so she did. And she tweeted the whole way. But that's what she was wearing to get her vaccination, I guess, this sequined gown.
Yeah, what'd she say? She's
wearing a sequined full-length gown to my vaccine appointment because it's the event of my year. Wow, you got a crappy year.
Oh, wow, all caps, event of my year.
What a garbage year you've had. If getting a vaccine is the event of your year. And then the people to my right and to my left just got called up.
Oh.
So she's there in her sequined gown right now.
How exciting.
And the people on the left and right of her had been called up to get their vaccine. This is probably how
somebody.
Dan J. Levy felt at the Emmys. Who?
I don't know.
What?
Maybe a buddy of hers.
Yeah.
Look, it's getting exciting, Pat.
OMG. That's my name. Yes, present here. Yes, I will happily follow you.
She's getting ready to get her vaccine. Let's not forget.
In her sequin dress. Then
oh no,
she tweets out, they honestly could have taken me anywhere. I am now in another smaller waiting area that I'm thinking of as backstage. NGL.
Not gonna lie.
Okay, not gonna lie.
I had to look that up.
We are crammed in a bit, but I am staying hopeful and masked and as far from others as possible.
That's good. Well,
Good.
I don't want to.
Now keep in mind, she's still in her sequin gown. As she then tweets out, what if they give me a choice?
Oh.
Would they do that? Is one better than the other?
Oh, like which vaccine,
Like Pfizer, Moderna. Now she'd have
Johnson
the
and
Johnson and
Johnson.
Johnson
How
choice.
exciting.
But she didn't have that last week. She should have waited.
Yeah, should have waited.
Also, my dress is doing a lot of the heavy lifting.
I don't know what that means.
But my vintage earrings from my mom that I think were my mama's, my My mama.
Meemaw, I don't know.
Meemaw?
Well, in the South, I think Meemaw is the
Meemaw?
thing. Yeah.
Okay, my Meemaw. And my mask from Jen Williams are the secret weapons. Is Jen Williams a designer? Are there
Sure.
designer masks now that people are...
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, come on.
I'm sure.
Seriously? You got a real issue if you're getting designer masks.
Uh-oh, look.
Oh, boy. Second dose booked. I am so close. I can taste that sweet vaccine. Do not drink the vaccine. All right?
Yeah, now, if you're following her, you probably do need that safety tip.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, look how exciting.
Boom! She got the jab.
Jab.
Congratulations, Puddin'. She is so happy and so thrilled about her night at the Oscars, essentially, which is getting her vaccine. That's amazing.
And a lot
so
of
weird.
A lot of your audience members pointed out. Can we go back to the first picture? I don't think we can zoom in, but take a look at the very first picture where she's standing in her living room with her sequined gown. That cat behind her is just staring at her like, you are the biggest loser. Oh, my.
What do you want to bet? She's got about 40 cats.
That's the one that
Bet she does.
snuck into the picture.
Yep. She's got about 40 of them.
I'm telling you, man, these people. And she said it. I will follow you anywhere.
Yeah.
That's what's happening to our society.
That's creepy.
Bunch of sheep who will go anywhere they are told to.
Speaking of sheep, have you seen the photo of the sheep that had never been sheared?
Oh gosh, this guy.
Apparently, it turns out that if you don't get your wool sheared, you look like this. After a while.
That's a sheep that's been in quarantine for quite a while. Look at that. So he was wandering around or something?
Yeah, apparently like a feral sheep or something.
Goodness gracious.
And so he could barely see because there was so much wool in. Somebody pulled the wool over his eyes.
Whoa! No! Yes!
Oh, yeah.
Hey-oh!
Oh, boy. Oh,
I said, ha, ha.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I love it when you just walk into one, you know?
Yeah.
Poor thing. I saw a video. He couldn't even hardly walk. He had so much.
And I guess it's all matted and nasty. It just was not pleasant. And then they sheared him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
oh, look!
So much better. So much better.
He's,
the sheep was underweight and struggled to see under its face and was recovering well after the shearing.
A happy story.
Happy story.
After all.
For the animal. That's great.
That is great.
I'm just really relieved.
But you said, speaking of sheep.
Yes.
And he's that sheep right there is the one that has the most common sense of any of them that we've been talking about this morning. Then
there's this guy, another sheep.
Yeah.
This guy's proud of his vaccination as well. And I love the headline on this. Sometimes the cattle brand themselves.
Oh, no, this guy.
Look at this guy. He's got a tattoo of Moderna. And I guess that's the number of the Moderna shot.
Yeah.
Do they give you a number that corresponds with your vaccination?
I think that might be the scientific, like the title of it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, I'd have to, let me Google that real quick. Leave that up there, would you, Rob?
Moderna 037K20A.
K20A.
11621. So apparently he was, he branded himself on this 16th. That's what he got his. I guess that's when he got his vaccination.
Okay, so that is the technical number. That whole thing, Moderna 037, whatever. And then he got. I mean, that's
just weird.
Freak. So on his bicep, he has that.
Why
tattooed?
I mean, at least put it in Chinese or something cool that people usually do. Yeah, that means I got my Moderna vaccination in Mandarin. Oh, okay. Well, that's kind of cool. But just doing it in English, that's not cool.
And then you cross paths with someone who speaks Chinese, and they go, no, that means you wipe your butt once an hour. I mean, seriously. I love it when they find out that they've been walking around with this Chinese symbol tattoo thinking it meant like fierce warrior.
And then they find out something completely different. Exactly. All right. Also, got this tweet from...
Is that the study? That's a Maryland study?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's that information?
A worldwide survey by the University of Maryland has tracked mask wearing over time. Okay. Here's the results for the UK and Sweden. So they compared the UK to Sweden over the fall and winter. Why did the UK do so much worse than Sweden despite 70 to 80% mask wearing compared to 5 to 18% in Sweden?
All right, look at that chart. So 80% of the population in Britain
Wow.
over this random sample period admitted to wearing masks on a regular basis. Less than 20%. Yeah, so less than 20% in Sweden were
wearing masks. And yet,
So I bet the people in Sweden, is anybody left there? They're all dead?
yes, every single person in Sweden died. Well, let's see the graph, and it'll show you that every person. Nope, I guess every Swede isn't dead.
Wow, it looks eerily similar.
Huh.
In fact, here lately, it's much, much better in Sweden.
Isn't that something? Well, study after study proves this out. The masks don't do anything.
This could have been...
They don't do anything.
This is one sample. This is one study out of how many dozens and dozens
Well,
and
we
dozens.
had the Danish study. We've had this one for the UK and Sweden. We've had studies in the United States. We've had study after study after study. To my knowledge, none of them show significant help from a mask.
No.
Significant decreases in either getting the virus or dying from the virus. It looks like it's about the same. I remember the Dutch study was about 0.05% difference. Something to that effect.
That's within the margin of error at that point. You know,
yeah, absolutely.
that could go either way.
That's crazy.
Masks do nothing.
They don't do anything. And we were told that from the beginning. And then they just completely flipped on it.
Oh, that's 'cause
and then it's like masks do everything.
Election year flu.
Right. Which, by the way, nobody got the flu last year. So
Yeah, I still question.
that's interesting.
Yeah. So,
Nobody got the flu.
well,
Usually 30 to 50,000 people die of the flu every year. Nobody did last year, so that's great. So one thing that that coronavirus apparently did was to kill the regular flu. It just killed it,
Yeah.
murdered it, sneaked up behind it and killed it.
Yeah. And I questioned, Jeffy and I were talking the other day, I questioned
Whether or not
my
that's the case.
diagnosis. Remember, because that was my early on thing. But
Oh, yeah, you did have the flu. You were the only person in
Sure.
America to get the
Sure.
flu, and then you got coronavirus on top
yeah, I
of it.
think it was. I'm not taking that diagnosis to the bank, but there you go.
Interesting.
But yeah, but I'm the only person. Yes.
But masks, they're, I guess, they make you invincible. You can't die if you
I
wear
love
a
that,
mask.
though. I love
you
that.
You could get hit by a car. If you're wearing a mask, you'll be fine. Don't test that out, but I'm pretty sure it's true because masks seem to be the
And
be
that's
all
their
and end
answer.
all.
That's their answer.
Yeah, don't
Well, there's
test it out.
There's no flu because everyone's wearing masks.
Okay.
Would you please stop talking? Anyhow.
Again, it's like throwing gravel at a chain link fence.
I love that. That was a doctor who said that.
And many doctors have backed that up. I mean, I've talked to several doctors, and they've all said the same thing. Yeah, they don't do anything. No, it's just to make other people feel better. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And see, I'm not in the business of trying to help other people feel better. So
Really?
I don't care.
It's not your job?
It's not my job.
All right.
It's not my responsibility.
It looks like Governor Abbott may soon come back to his senses because he's left them for about a year now. He's considering ending the statewide mask order that's been in place since summer.
Right. 8 months today.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Huh.
July 2nd, right?
He said, we're working right now on evaluating when we're going to be able to remove all statewide orders, and we'll be making announcements about that pretty soon. He put the order in place and closed bars July 2nd during the spike. They dropped sharply under the order, but began to rise again after Labor Day. So he would tell you the mask mandate worked.
Yeah, well,
That's what he would tell you.
don't care.
So Abbott has faced sharp criticism from some Republicans. More than that, I mean, some Republicans are just done with him now. Mm-hmm. Just done.
I'm telling you, man, he is a fair weather governor, I hate to say.
I hate it too because he's been so good right up until this controversy, right up until the COVID thing. He was great. He was the best governor we've said it many times, of my lifetime, but not so much in the last year. All right, let me tell you about real estate agents I trust. If you're trying to sell your home, that can be really challenging, especially in a COVID-19 era. So you need a realtor that's going to see you through the process. You need somebody who gives you the best advice available. Somebody who's got a great track record, so they know how to sell homes, and they know how to help you buy one to get the most out of your dollar. They can inform you as to whether or not you should repaint and replace countertops and remodel it all, because will you get your money out of that if you do it, or is it better to just sell it as is? That's where they are the experts. Real Estate Agents I Trust. The name really says it all. And they're fans of the show. They've been listening to Glenn and The Blaze for years in many cases, most cases. But all of them listen and enjoy the show now. So you got that in common with them. realestateagentsitrust.com. realestateagentsitrust.com.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
I realized during the commercial that I don't really know how long each of the real estate agents I trust has been listening to the show. I don't have that information available. So I can't say that they've all been listening for years. I just want to make that clear.
That's good.
I don't know them all. They haven't all told me how long they've been listening. So
You don't know the real estate agent that we trust in Pocatello?
no, I don't. I haven't met him yet, or her.
If you are a real estate agent that we trust,
And you live in Pocatello, give us a call and let us know how long you've been listening to the show.
we want to hear from you.
Love to hear from you. And then we can safely say, for instance, the Pocatello agent has been listening for X amount of years.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
Could we also clear a line for the Poughkeepsie real estate agent that we
Yes,
trust?
and Bemidji. Bemidji, Minnesota. So those three areas.
Daniel?
Be watching for them. You know that call's coming in any second. All right, 888-900-3393. Speaking of masks and all of this nonsense, Britain's leading coronavirus expert, Professor Whitty, walking down the street.
Oh.
And somebody...
He's kind of like the British Dr. Fauci.
Yeah, he's he really is. He's the guy they all listen to, and he's got no mask on. Oh boy.
Oh,
You're a liar. Man, he's a liar. He's a liar. You're a liar. You lie about the COVID-19 cases, man. Come on, man. Stop lying to the TV, man. Liar.
Start that from the beginning, because he's completely naked-faced. And they noticed that, and apparently he's quite embarrassed by it. Uh-oh! Busted. Really quick. Yeah, it's too late. Dude, it's too late now. All right? You just got caught.
liar. Dr. Whitty is a liar.
And we saw Fauci do the same thing with the Washington Nationals.
I mean, oh, boy.
It's crazy.
They don't, look at that. See? They don't do what they tell you to do.
Yeah, the hypocrisy is amazing. Do as I say, not as I do. Even his wife, with the mask completely off. He's got it down to his chin, which does no good. There's no reason to wear it around your chin.
The only consistent one of the three is the guy who I have no idea who that is.
Yeah,
You
that
see what
we've
I mean?
never heard.
Yeah.
Huh, that's weird.
But you people that worship Dr. Fauci and will defend mask wearing to the death, the people that are compelling you to do this, don't do it themselves. How many times must we say this?
Which shows you that they don't really believe it. It's just like the climate warming buffoons who tell you all the time how bad the climate catastrophe is and that it's in progress right now. And then they take private jets all over the world. Come on now. You don't conduct your business like that. If you really believe that you're killing the planet, it doesn't make any sense. Same with the mask wearing. If you really believe mask wearing is the be all and end all to prevent getting the virus or passing it on to somebody, you wear the mask. You don't walk around down the street or at a baseball game and not have the mask on, especially when you know everybody's watching. Just shows us who you really are and what you really believe.
Nobody wants to admit, though, that they've been had. You know, we're this
True.
deep into it, and people's pride is on the line. And,
It's amazing.
And seriously, if you want to wear the mask,
Go
wear
ahead.
the freaking mask.
Yeah, that's
I
not a
don't
problem.
care. I really don't. What I care about is it being imposed upon me.
Right. Yes. And that's why Governor Abbott should never have issued the mandate. You shouldn't be telling people what they should do with their apparel or whether or not they should wear a mask for their own safety. If they want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If they don't, they don't. And you let the chips fall where they may. Just like South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem has always said. And now Anthony Fauci has suggested that she's playing to the crowd when she criticized him over the weekend.
Oh, yeah, we played that clip, yeah.
Fauci appeared on CBS's Face the Nation with Margaret Brennan on Sunday to respond to Noem, who took a shot at him in a Saturday speech at CPAC. And, of course, people responded well to that because everybody thinks the same thing about Fauci. Well, everybody on the right, pretty much. He said, it's unfortunate, but it is not really helpful because sometimes you think things are going well. Just take a look at the numbers. They don't lie. That's right. And the numbers show it doesn't do anything. Admit it. We see, Margaret, what happens when you pull back prematurely.
Oh, so see, he's always about the fear. In other words, he's like,
Yep.
okay, so I see that I was challenged by name by the South Dakota governor. So
Right.
what card can I play? Don't pull back too quickly. Come on now. And then later on in the interview, he plays the, there's different variants out there now, so it's all about control, baby. It's all about control.
Mm-hmm. Even after, originally it was flattening the curve. Then it was, okay, just wait till we get to summer. Then it was, okay, well, wait till we get the vaccine. When we get the vaccine, then we'll pretty much be able to get back to normal. Well, now we have the vaccine. We waited till summer. We've gone through the whole thing, and still it's not good enough. Still we have to wear the masks, socially distance, change our lives completely. We're done with it. I think most people are pretty much done
Would
at this point.
Would you say that it is time for Dr. Fauci to shut up? Would you think it's a good time for that? Because I do.
Yeah,
Because
I think so.
I know that I sure do think it's time for Dr. Fauci to go ahead and maybe he
shut
could
up.
just, how you say,
Maybe he could-
shut up.
Right. You could almost put that to music.
Almost.
Shut up, Fauci! Fauci, shut up! Yeah! Yeah! Shut up, Fauci! Fauci, shut up! Yeah!
I thought it was a good time for Fauci to shut up.
It seems like it.
I mean,
seems like that.
pretty much any time's a good time for Dr. Fauci to shut up.
It's amazing how he's passed right through seamlessly both administrations, isn't it? In fact, he's been through what? 5 administrations? He started with Reagan, I believe. Moved into he was still in position with Bush and Clinton, and then Bush the second, and then Obama, and then Trump, and now Biden.
He's been wrong about
7.
everything
He's
for
wrong.
decades.
Yeah. But he's been a close advisor to presidents, 7 of them now.
I can't.
And as Keith just pointed out, he's been wrong almost every time he's spoken out about something.
Honestly, he should be a climate change expert at this point. He's so wrong.
That's how wrong he's been.
I mean,
yeah.
honestly, the Weather Channel, remember? Somebody pointed this out. The Weather Channel posted that February for Texas was going to be much above average temperature.
Yeah, how'd that work out?
21 days later, we were at our high temperature was lower than our record low for that day. They can't predict 3 weeks out.
Nope.
They want to construct policy, and they've done a great job of manipulating the American people for 2 decades now on global warming and climate change, to the point where now we have a party in power that wants to completely revamp our economic system based around the Green New Deal. I know I'm getting off on a climate tangent here, but it's like, why are you listening to these experts on anything? Whether it's the climate, whether it's this COVID stuff, they're never right. And all they're doing is changing your quality of life.
And seriously removing our freedoms. They're just slowly but surely taking more and more control and eliminating more and more of the U.S. Constitution as they go. It's pretty incredible.
It's depressing.
And it's time for us to stand up and say, no, thank you. We're done. Okay? Enough is enough. Speaking of the climate, White House climate advisor Gina McCarthy is criticizing Texas over the Texas grid. They despise the fact that Texas has its own energy and that they, on a regular basis, don't control us. Now, when things get really tough because of the federal pollution standards, we have to go to them and ask for permission to increase our capacity. But other than that, Texas controls Texas energy. We have more energy resources than any other state in the union, and we use more than any other state in the union. But that's our business, right? So Gina McCarthy, in an interview with the Associated Press, criticized officials in Texas for failing to properly protect their residents from power outages in the face of the catastrophic winter storm, and warned that such storms were likely to become a more common event in the future. Yeah, we're going to have more snowstorms and cold because of global warming. Again, they have it every which way. It doesn't matter what happens. It fits into their agenda of global warming. Specifically, though, McCarthy faulted Texas for not being connected to the national power grid, which she blamed for the extent of the power outages. Nothing could be further from the truth. That's not what caused our issue. What these lying buffoons won't tell you, but we certainly have, is it's their fault. It's the feds' fault. They refuse to allow Texas to increase our capacity to meet the demand because of their BS federal pollution regulations, which, by the way, killed dozens of people. Like 40 so far and counting. They're not even sure how many people died, but it's at least 40 people.
I think we've crossed 50. Actually,
it could well be.
Yeah.
And so we've told you this before. We had the capacity to go to 110% of demand. And because of their environmental pollution standards, they wouldn't let us do that just for a few days. Like, that's going to kill the planet because we increased our capacity for a couple of days so that people could avoid the suffering and the death, by the way. It's really despicable. In part, it was, and all of it was because of things that we preach against every single day. The renewable energy that is not capable of handling the load. So the wind and the solar were gone because they were frozen. The nuclear was gone because it was frozen. And then we couldn't increase the capacity for the fossil fuels because the federal government wouldn't allow it. Now, because they want so desperately for us to join the national grids, they offered us, well, you can buy power from us, from the eastern or western grid, for an extra 6,000% over what you normally pay. Oh well, thank you. That's really kind of you. And then they won't admit to the fact that they brought this on, continually blaming Texas for it. It's really amazing. 888-900-3393. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Headline on Fox right now. Mexico wants 800,000 migrants to come to the U.S. every year.
So? I don't care what you want.
800,000. That would be down from what actually show up.
Oh.
But still, tough. Who cares what you want? I'm sorry. What if we want to send $1 million a year to Mexico? Do you think they'd say, well, okay?
Okay.
Because it seems like one of their leaders has spoken out about that.
Oh, yeah?
In the past.
What are you getting at there?
Here's what he was asked about their immigration policies.
It's some racial profiling criteria in order to enforce the law.
Right.
It's against any sense of human rights.
Right.
And of course, it's provoking very disappointing things or very disappointing opinion in Mexico and around the world, even here in America.
Right.
Of course.
If somebody sneaks in from Nicaragua or some other country in Central America through the southern border of Mexico, they wind up in Mexico, they can go get a job, they can work.
Somebody do that without permissions. We send back them.
We send back them. If somebody do that without permissions, we send back them.
You think we lost something in translation there?
That's why I'm trying to kind of mull it over my head, repeat this statement, and see if I can figure out what he means by that. Wait, I thought illegal immigration was great with you guys.
Okay, well, first of all, they want to send 800,000. Team Biden will probably be like, wait, only 800,000?
Enough.
How about we go with like 1.6 million?
Or 4 million.
Or just, you know what?
Just empty out your country.
Get your whole country in here. It's madness. But let's not be too hasty here, Pat.
Okay.
Because we just played videos and went through tweets of some really dumb Americans. Mm-hmm. Could we do an exchange?
Well, based on what he said,
of course, if somebody sneaks in from Nicaragua or some other country in Central America through the southern border of Mexico, they wind up in Mexico, they can go get a job, they can work.
No.
Somebody do that.
He was quick to say
without
that.
Permissions. We send back them.
They say low.
Yeah, and they follow the law. Don't kid yourself. Mexico follows their laws.
I want to exchange sequin dress lady, Moderna tattoo guy, and
David Hogg.
David Hogg.
Let's exchange him. He'd be such an asset for Mexico. I'm just trying to do the right thing for them.
Let's do a 2-for-1. Anytime we find one of these crazy snowflakes, the lady crying because she yelled at her cat,
we'll give them to Mexico.
Give them to Mexico. You send us 2 Mexicans.
I like it.
2-for-1.
All right, we got some tweets here. Vaccine fan cult club tweets. The lady that was upset at scolding her cat is exactly the reason I'm not as in touch with my feelings as some in this world would like me to be.
Yeah.
From War of the World Views, if getting a vaccine in February is the event of your year, how bad do you expect the rest of the year to be?
Good point.
From Beautiful Stable Genius. I don't know. If that tattoo will pass as the vaccine passport, I might get a tattoo. I'll not be getting the actual vaccine. Swankthink tweets, this worship of COVID propaganda is horrifying. There's no acknowledgement of any scientific data from the people who espouse follow the science ad nauseum. That's really true.
That is.
So frustrating.
Yep.
It's the case with COVID-19. It's the case with all of the trans propaganda that's going on right now. That's an amazing situation. We're not concerned with science at all when it comes to trans people. There's no consideration. Like if you have a penis or you have a hoo-ha, you would think that would mean something.
You would think,
but no, it doesn't.
It really doesn't. Man.
It just doesn't mean anything. And the interesting part of this is that the trans agenda is winning in a big way. I mean, they are the smallest segment and probably the newest, really serious special interest group. Mm-hmm. And yet they're kicking everybody else's anus all over the playing field.
Yes, they are.
For instance, Twitch just used the spelling women with an X.
Okay. Oh,
WOMXN. Okay, that's the politically correct thing to do, right? Nope. Apparently not according to the trans community.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I didn't know this, but Twitch apologized, of course, which isn't going to be meaningful to anybody. But they apologized after a wave of online outrage from transgender activists and their allies over the use of the term women with an X. They put out this statement: while we originally wanted to use a word that acknowledges the shortcoming of gender binary language, after hearing directly from you, including members of the LGBTQIA2+ community on Twitch, we'll be using the spelling women, WOMEN, moving forward. Why? I don't know. I don't fully understand why that's offensive to trans people. Do you?
I don't think they do either.
Transgender activists excoriated Twitch because the term is seen as transphobic because it excludes the possibility of biological men who identify as women. What? How does it do that?
I can't keep up.
How can you possibly keep up with all the different spellings and the definitions of the spellings and the things you can say and can't say? Because it changes every day. It's changing literally every day.
I mean, it is political correctness is now the equivalent of day trading.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, you cannot
really
keep up. It's constantly changing. It's madness, dude.
Then Twitch put out a second tweet. We want to assure you that we have and will continue to work with the LGBTQIA+. Now, see, here's the problem. Mm-hmm. Even in this apology, they left out certain segments of society.
Oh, no. What happened?
They left out one of the Qs, either queer or questioning. One of them has been left out.
Yeah.
And they left out the two-spirit people.
That's right.
Yeah. That's, I'm sorry, that's unforgivable.
And how many genders are there now?
97 at my last count.
Oh, gosh, I've heard 100 and something.
Oh, have you?
But either way,
again, you can't keep up.
They left out a whole bunch.
Yes, they did. Mm-hmm. So they write, we want to assure you that we have and will continue to work with the LGBTQIA+ community. We're still learning. Our good intentions don't always equate to positive impact, but we're committed to growing from these experiences, doing better, and ensuring we're inclusive to all. Can you imagine this? Falling all over yourself because you put an X in a word.
I mean, they were trying to be
you can't survive this.
Politically correct, and yet failed at that.
And failed. I don't know why this happens, but it definitely seems, again, the trans community is just the most powerful special interest group in the world right now. More so than gay activists, more so than Islam, to the point where the president, Joe Biden, has promised to side with the trans community on whatever issues come up. In fact, he already has. He's already sided with the trans community on one of his first executive actions. His order stated, in part, quote, children should be able to learn without worrying about whether they'll be denied access to the restroom, the locker room, or school sports. Remember that? I think it was day one he did the bathroom thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, first of all, I guess the biological girls in the locker room and the restroom do need to worry about who's coming into their restrooms, locker rooms, and school sports with a penis. I guess they do need to worry about that, but they don't count anymore for some reason. Women just don't count. We don't care. We don't consider your thoughts and feelings of an actual biological man coming into your locker room. If they identify as a woman, tough. Deal with it.
Yeah.
Second, they wouldn't be denying access to restrooms or locker rooms. They could have had their own, right? How many people have said, well, why don't we just do a trans? And that was not good enough for them. So the young women and the girls in schools, their feelings on this obviously just don't matter at all. Sorry, girls. You're just going to have to deal with it. Because 0.7% of the population wants to come into your bathroom and your locker room. I don't know why that's a problem that you couldn't just set up a trans area. If you're somewhere in between, or you're in a transition, or you identify as such, let's take the girls into account too, and their feelings and their concerns, and let's set up a separate room.
Yeah, that's not the goal. The goal isn't
yes, right. That's
to
exactly
accommodate.
Right.
They don't want to be accommodated. They want to dominate.
That's right.
I believe I just turned into Jesse Jackson, live on the air.
It's true, though.
They don't want to accommodate. They want to dominate. Sorry.
Red, yellow, black, or brown, all here find common ground. Good times.
Boy, what's he up to these days?
Boy, Jesse is just the forgotten guy, isn't he?
What is he doing these days?
I don't know.
Huh.
Whereas it was Jesse Jackson that dominated that whole, I guess,
civil rights
movement.
Post-MLK.
And now it's just Al Sharpton, and nobody talks about Jesse anymore. All right, let me tell you about Texas Superfood. You know the top 2 things people say they notice when they start using it? They notice they have more energy and they sleep better. And of course, those 2 things go hand in hand. Texas Superfood gives you the power of nutritionally dense fruits and vegetables, the power of enzymes and probiotics in action. I don't really know what an enzyme does or a probiotic, but either way, whatever they are, I know they're important. Because everybody wants to have them in your diet. Texas Superfood is organic, vine-ripened, antioxidant-rich, raw, natural fruits and vegetables. It makes maintaining proper nutrition incredibly easy, especially if you're like me and you just don't like vegetables, and so you frankly don't eat them. This is a great way to get all of that nutrition into your life anyway. Every ingredient has been certified and selected to give you the optimal nutritional intake. All the fruits and vegetables used are grown organically and locally sourced from locally sourced farms. Highest quality nutritional supplement that's available. So just go to TexasSuperfood.com and check them out today. That's TexasSuperfood.com.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Do you remember the issue back in the, 70s and 80s with the East German women?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, dominant.
That they were dominating the rest of the world because they all looked like this. Big, burly babes that looked like it could crush your skull between their 2 fingers.
That's literally all Eastern Bloc countries had going for them were the Olympics.
Yes. And now we kind of find out why. There's a documentary, The Lost World of Communism. And here's a little segment that kind of fits into what's going on with this trans thing.
Heidi Krieger's life was also dramatically affected by the Stasi.
This is Heidi
was
Krieger
one of communism's star athletes.
Okay.
Here she is seen winning gold in the shot at the European Championships in 1986.
Impressive.
Democratic Republic. 21 meters.
Also ich habe sehr gerne. I loved being a sporting champion for East Germany.
Ich bin ins Ausland gefahren und habe sie gerne repräsentiert.
I liked representing my country abroad.
Einfach.
Pause it for a second. And that's Heidi today.
Okay, then.
Or at least when the documentary was done. So Heidi on the left and Heidi on the right. Although I don't want to dead name Heidi. That's not Heidi's name anymore. All right, let's see the rest of this.
Kleinbürgerlichen Denken.
Simply because my narrow-mindedness would make me believe, with our achievements, we strengthened the Socialist Republic.
Die Sozialistische Republik.
But Heidi paid a heavy price for her sporting success. Unwittingly, Heidi was one of 10,000 East German athletes who were part of a Stasi-run doping program.
Oh boy.
Und irgendwann war es so, dass also der Trainer mir auch so.
At one point, shortly after I'd turned 16, the coach suddenly started giving me packs of pills.
Das sind unterstützende Mittel. Die nimmt jeder.
He would tell me, these are to help you. Everyone takes them. You'll handle the training program better. You won't get ill. And if you're injured, you'll recover more quickly.
Wow.
I trusted him and started taking those pills.
Pause it for a second. So obviously, they're anabolic steroids. Obviously, he's taking testosterone. And probably HGH, the human growth HGH, not D, the human growth hormones, and didn't even know it. Had no idea what these pills were, was just told, okay, this will help you heal faster.
Tragic.
It's really amazing.
Teenager gibt, die
There are teenagers whose sexuality hasn't been fixed yet during adolescence. And probably I was in that situation. I was neither fish nor fowl.
Und in dieser Zeit haben sie mir diese
In that period, they gave me those pills. Because of the pills, my balance switched over to the masculine side.
Well,
in die
yeah.
männliche Richtung gekippt.
Wow.
Massive doses of anabolic steroids over several years
Pictures of her over time.
changed Heidi's body forever.
Jeez.
Und ich habe dann halt mitbekommen, dass man mit mir,
I realized they'd made a lab rat out of me
dass man aus mir
because they saw my potential.
Facial hair.
diese DDR
East Germany has taken my life away from me, and without asking.
Ich konnte nicht selbst
I wasn't allowed to decide for myself what I wanted to become.
was aus mir wird.
That's sad.
The effects of the doping
Very.
system finally forced Heidi to undergo a sex change operation. And today, Heidi is called Andreas.
Heidi ist immer noch.
Heidi still exists.
Ein Stückchen Heidi bin ich immer noch.
I'm still a bit Heidi. That is my life. I used to be a woman, and I'll probably always remain a woman up to a certain extent.
All right. That's a tragic story. Really tragic. But it shows what the deal is with trans women competing against biological women.
And this was
it's
the point.
not fair.
The Pathead who sent this to us, it's going to force our women, our girls, if they want to compete against men,
right?
Are they not going to have to face the same kind of temptations?
They'll certainly
as
be
this?
tempted to. Yeah,
I tell
would
you,
think so.
what a world we've created.
Yep. 888-900-3393. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up. And welcome. 888-900-3393. Got some tweets here. This from Alyssa. Women's opinions don't matter when it comes to men in sports, locker rooms, and bathrooms, but boy, are we allowed to kill babies. Only my choice when it comes to murder, not a mask or a dude in my bathroom.
Thank you.
From Captain Sham, Captain Sham, transgenderism is about eliminating our individualism and finally your humanity. This makes slavery voluntary. Sir Nasty tweets, confusion and chaos is a feature of their worldview, not a bug. Never forget it. Mm-hmm. And from Tobin for Pope campaign. Twitch, can you please stop using gendered language? That's
point of personal
good
privilege.
point. Yeah, yes. Go ahead.
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay. A New York university has suspended an education student from mandatory teaching programs for posting Instagram videos expressing conservative ideology.
Wait, expressing what?
Conservative ideology, so really hateful stuff.
It's gotten to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
State University of New York, Sonny, Genesco sent an email to education student Owen Stevens, placing him on suspension from his field teaching programs after his peers uncovered videos of him preaching conservative dogma.
Oh, no.
Not dogma. Please tell me he didn't preach dogma.
It's a fun word. Dogma.
The school claims Stevens' videos call into question his ability to, quote, maintain classroom environment protecting the mental and emotional well-being of all his students, unquote. According to a copy of Stevens' suspension, the education student will remain suspended from participating in in-school field experiences and courses that have field experiences until he completes a remediation plan.
Uh-oh.
You got to re-educate him. He's got to go to a camp. The remediation plan includes taking down his Instagram videos, toning down his social media presence, and attending school-sanctioned training.
Uh-oh.
Huh. Steven said he refuses to take part in re-education training. After a review of all available materials, I find that based on your continued public stance and social media presence, you do not consistently demonstrate behaviors required by the conceptual framework of the School of Education. University claims Stevens violated the school's inclusivity doctrine, which requires teachers to foster a, quote, diverse campus community marked by mutual respect for the unique talents and contributions of each individual.
Unless
unquote.
you're conservative.
Well, yeah, unless
they left that part out.
I mean, obviously, but that goes without saying.
That's
right?
why they left that part out.
Yeah, they don't have to say that. The dean also insinuated that future teachers are required to support all aspects of homosexuality and gender identity.
Here we go.
During one of his Instagram videos, Steven said, get this.
Oh, no, wait.
Hateful language on the way.
Okay, Corby, dump
warning,
button ready.
Warning. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Hateful, non-inclusive, non-diverse language.
Uh-oh.
Keep in mind, these are not my thoughts. These are the evil person in the story. They're his thoughts.
Okay, what's going on here?
I hesitate to even
You
say
hesitate to read.
Here's what he said. I'm quoting now. A man is a man.
Whoa.
A woman is a woman.
Whoa, nuh-uh.
That's not it, though.
He said that?
A man is not a woman, and a woman is not a man, unquote.
Oh, my gosh.
Can you believe?
I mean, he just plowed ahead.
Oh, I'm
easy.
I'm sorry. I just threw up in my mouth a little bit. It's
need a breath mint now?
Sick to my stomach right now.
I can understand that. You're having to actually see the words. I'm hearing them, and they're affecting me enough.
The dean told Stevens that his scientific stance on biology is, quote, in conflict, unquote, with the state's Dignity for All Students Act. So the Dignity for All Students Act discounts science, biology, and reality completely. So sounds like a really good act if you're, in education and you're teaching this stuff.
Why go to college?
You continue to maintain, I do not recognize the gender that they claim to be if they're not biologically that gender, the dean said. This public position is in conflict with the Dignity for All Students Act, requiring teachers to maintain a classroom environment protecting the mental and emotional well-being of all students.
Shut up. Shut up. So what was the big controversy? Men are men.
Yeah, are you going to say it again?
You're a good point. I'm sorry.
What we should do is say the A word, the M word, the I word, the N word, not.
Well, not that.
Another A word, a W word.
I don't know what to say now. Men are men, women are women.
Well, men are men, and how dare you say it again?
I was quoting him.
Oh, my gosh.
Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
Thanks for the tip.
Thanks for the tip. Now, that used to be true. We learned it in 1990 from the documentary Kindergarten Cop.
Right.
But apparently it's not true anymore.
Not true anymore.
So this kid is just stupid.
Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
They're laughing at him because it's not true.
Thanks for the tip.
Thanks for the tip.
Thanks for the tip, kid. What a crazy world. You couldn't make Kindergarten Cop today.
Well, I got banned.
Not with that.
Remember that? I got banned in the state of Oregon.
It's unreal.
And it wasn't because, oh my gosh, Pat, oh my gosh, how did we not see this? It was because what was their reasoning? Cops in school? That was the reasoning.
Oh, yeah.
Which is so stupid.
It wasn't even this.
It was so stupid.
Yeah.
Because it made cops look good or something like that. Oh my goodness.
Yes, it was during all that.
It was because of this line.
God,
it was because of that non-inclusive kid saying that boys have a penis and girls have a vagina. Sorry. I can't take this world, Pat.
It's crazy. All right, here's something you can take. And you can eat it. And it's delicious, and you're going to love it. And it'll make a little bit of sense out of this nonsensical world. A Built Bar. Just grab one and eat it today, because you're going to love the taste.
I'm doing it right now.
It will help curb your hunger, and they're pretty healthy. 110 to 160 calories, 16 to 20 grams of protein, and only 3 to 5 net carbs. It's going to be the healthiest thing I eat today. That's for sure.
Do you know how much I love peanut butter? Like,
I don't.
I will have peanut butter in anything, and this is going to be my first experience with a peanut butter Built Bar. Game on.
Yeah. They're delicious.
I'm not. Oh, boy.
Really
No.
good.
I want all the peanut butter Built Bars in this building.
It's weird because every time you try a new flavor, you're like, that's my favorite now. That's my new favorite.
This one definitely is.
See? Told you. All kinds of flavors. Caramel brownie, cookies and cream, coconut almond, the raspberry, which I love. They've got an orange flavor that's fantastic. Don't give up on your resolution to eat better. Built Bar will really help you do that. Go to BuiltBar.com, use the promo code PAT20, and you'll get 20% off your first order or your next order. 20% off your next order with promo code PAT20 at BuiltBar.com.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
How dare you? How dare you?
Thanks for the tip.
Kid's in prison now. He's been in prison for, I don't know,
30 years?
30 years almost now.
Is that right?
Yeah.
For that line?
Yeah, the trial took a year, and now then they put him in prison. So it's going on 30 years he's been in the clink.
Well, he deserves it.
But he does, because,
Point of personal privilege.
Yeah, go ahead.
Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
When you really pay attention to that, and we played it a million times, but he really is passionate about it. He's about in tears. I'm saying he. They are
we
almost in tears.
We don't know.
We don't know.
How
we have no
that
idea.
individual prefers to be addressed.
That is correct. So
okay.
Probably go with the pronoun they.
Yeah. I think that's the best
And
way
them.
to go.
All right. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. More problems, if you can believe it, for world-renowned sweetheart Andrew Cuomo.
I didn't know who you were going to be saying there. And then I should have known.
You should have known. Yeah, right? I mean, the guy is just as wonderful as is possible, I think. You can't be any more wonderful than Andrew Cuomo. Now, Stu seems to disagree with that, but what does he know?
Yeah, what does he know?
It's interesting because Chris, his brother, kind of addressed the situation at the start of his show last night.
Okay. Before we start tonight, let me say something that I'm sure is very obvious to you who watch my show. And thank you for that. You're straight
welcome.
with me, I'll be straight with you.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, I'm aware of what's going on with my brother.
Obviously.
And obviously,
That he's a douchebag?
I cannot cover it because
You can't?
he is my brother. Now,
He ain't heavy.
of course,
He's your
CNN
brother.
has to cover it.
Right.
They have covered it extensively, and they will continue to do so. I have always
Extensively.
cared very deeply about these issues.
I'm sure
and
you
profoundly so. I just wanted
Profoundly
to tell you
so.
that.
Thank
There's
you.
a lot of news going on that matters also. So let's get after that.
Okay, let's do.
Let's get after that.
And of course, CNN they've been like hound dogs on the trail of Andrew Cuomo, haven't they? Covering this harassment thing. That's all you see on the network. No, actually, as I look up, they actually are talking about it.
Oh my goodness.
Look at that.
Oh my.
What are the odds?
We just won the lottery. Well, I was just about to buttress your point there. I know that my phone was blowing up with CNN alerts all weekend about Trump this, Trump that. And it was almost like a lifeline was thrown to CNN when Trump came out and, spoke on Sunday.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden it's just like bing, 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 bing. He said this. He blah, blah. I didn't see anything on Cuomo. There was nothing from Cuomo, CNN.
No, they've quickly switched now to former QAnon followers speaking out.
Now, what we just witnessed on CNN was the ability for them to be able to say, "Oh, we covered it. Look, we totally
Right.
covered it."
That's right.
You did a stand-up shot with a chick that said a third accuser came out, and now back to the QAnon fun.
Yep.
Okay.
And the third woman that came forward, initially I thought, okay, I mean, really? This is the big deal? He asked you for a kiss, and that was an unwanted advance. But how is a man supposed to know that until he asks? So, if he asks you for a kiss, and you say no, and he doesn't, then there's no issue, right? You can't say, well, he asked me a question I didn't want him to ask me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Is he supposed to? What is he, Kreskin? Does he have to read your mind? So this has gotten to a ridiculous stage. But when you really look into what happened here, she's definitely onto something. He's inappropriate for sure. Apparently, he met her at a wedding in 2019, September of 2019. This Anna Rutsch, and it says that almost immediately after being introduced to her, he placed his hand on the small of her back.
Whoa!
And she had a backless dress, so she was barebacked, and he put his hand there, and she took her hand and removed his.
Mm-hmm. That should have been the end of it.
That should have been the end.
Yeah, because, what a scum move right there.
That is sleazy, right?
I don't care what your situation is.
You just meet a girl, you don't touch the small of her back, especially when she's wearing a backless dress. That's inappropriate. Everybody knows that. Okay, then he remarked that she seemed aggressive. And then he placed his hands on her cheeks.
Uh-oh. And there's a picture of that.
Yeah. Do we have that photo?
I don't know that we do,
okay.
But I just... look at all my Post-it notes. Yeah, there it is. See that?
There it is.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so he's cupping her face with his hands, which is weird when you've just met somebody. And then he asked if he could kiss her loudly enough for a friend standing by to hear.
Oh, my.
So she says she was bewildered by the request and pulled away as he drew closer. She says, I was so confused and shocked and embarrassed, and this was all corroborated by her friend. I turned my head away and didn't have the words in that moment. So now you have the photo to back up that something inappropriate was going on there. So the guy is just a sleazy, icky guy around women. I mean, who does that? Hi, this is Anna. Oh, hey, Anna. Let me put my hand on your bare back,
weird.
Right down in the small of your back. How do you like that?
I don't. I do not.
You don't like that?
I don't like that.
Well, you seem aggressive.
What
How about instead I kiss you then? How would that be?
What the hell?
You like that?
Get away.
Don't you find me completely irresistible?
I do not, sir.
What are you, some sort of animal that you don't enjoy the advances of a suave, sophisticated, handsome man who's powerful?
My goodness. So, New York.
Yeah.
You longing for the days of Elliot Spitzer yet?
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Over the weekend, the second Cuomo aide, Charlotte Bennett, told the Times that the governor asked her inappropriate questions about her sex life and felt that he was grooming her in their discussions. She said, I understood that I understood that the governor wanted to sleep with me and felt horribly uncomfortable and scared and was wondering how I was going to get out of it and assumed it was the end of my job. So, yeah, some obvious problems in the office of the governor in the state of New York. Be interesting to see what comes of it.
Do you think he gets to the end of his term?
This is a tough one.
Which is 2 more years now?
Yeah, this is a tough one. He may not make it because this is only going to get worse. Are there only 3 women that have ever had an uncomfortable interchange with him? I'm sure not.
And I will say that Janice Dean, she addresses the rumors. Will she run for New York governor? Coming up on Friday's edition of At the Mic.
Okay.
So go to atthemicshow.com, and that's my interview this week.
Awesome. All right. Let me tell you about Keeps. If your hair's getting thinner, maybe you got some bald spots going on.
Why do you look over here whenever you do this commercial?
No reason. It just happens to...
Well, it's a little awkward.
Oh, like my eyes are drawn to the left for some reason.
Okay there, Governor Cuomo.
So losing your hair is not fun.
Right.
And if you are concerned about it, some people aren't. Some people don't mind losing their hair. And they just go bald or they shave it completely or whatever. Yeah. That's not me. And if that's not you, then you can go to Keeps and take care of this from the comfort and privacy of your own home. You just go online, answer a few questions, snap some pictures, then a licensed doctor gets back to you and will recommend the right hair loss treatment for you. And then shipped right to your door, and you're going to save a bunch of money because first of all, it's the generic versions of these hair loss treatments, so it's about half the price there. Secondly, to get you started, we've got a special deal for you. Go to keeps.com, keeps.com/Pat. You'll get 50%, an additional 50% off your first order. Keeps.com/Pat for 50% off. That's keeps.com/Pat. And welcome. Great to have you with us. 888-900-3393. Also, at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. By the way, Dr. Seuss books won't be published for racist images.
So they're really canceling him.
They really are.
They're going to be collector's items.
Dr. Seuss, the socialist.
Yeah. Remember that? We had the quote yesterday of how he was on board with Stalin and
right.
And he said the greater threat to America is the House of Un-American Activities instead of communism. And apparently he got mad when pro-lifers used his Every Life Matters or something like that, even the small ones. I don't know.
Wow.
So you know what?
Wow.
Enough of Dr. Seuss. It's time to cancel him.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just amazing that the left wants to cancel him for completely different reasons.
Sure. Well, yeah, because he's a racist, too. I'm not sure what makes him racist. In fact, the Sneetch's story seems like that's the opposite, right? He was trying to teach a good value of not judging people by their appearance. 6 Dr. Seuss books, including And to Think That I Saw It on Mulberry Street and If I Ran the Zoo, will stop being published because of racist and insensitive imagery. These books portray people in ways that are hurtful and wrong. Dr. Seuss Enterprises told the Associated Press ceasing these sales, so they're canceling themselves. Ceasing sales of these books is only part of our commitment and our broader plan to ensure Dr. Seuss Enterprises catalog represents and supports all communities and families. The other books affected are McElligot's Pool, not familiar with that, On Beyond Zebra, Scrambled Eggs Super, and The Cat's Quizzer. I'm going to miss those terribly. Miss them all.
What is so funny is that dudes being canceled over books we've never heard of.
Yeah, right.
Boy, that has to hurt. That's like releasing an album, having a deep cut be the reason why you're getting canceled, not your smash hits.
You know what he made last year? What his estate made? Obviously, he's gone.
And I love that. I'm sorry. This story is just worth hearing the phrase Dr. Seuss Enterprises.
Yes.
Repeated.
$33 million before taxes. $33 million. He's number 2 on the highest paid dead celebrities list of 2020, behind only, can you guess?
Michael Jackson.
Yes, Michael Jackson is indeed the number 1 dead celebrity.
Is there a list there?
Not
so who
in
gets
this
Michael
story.
Jackson's cash? That kid of his?
Probably. Yeah, his family, I'm sure. I don't know. Maybe his monkeys. Who knows who he left? Who knows?
The zoo animals.
The bones of the elephant man. I don't know.
Seriously, I want to see the Michael Jackson will.
It'd be interesting. It would really be interesting. All right. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Let's see. What was I going to talk to you about? Now I've...
The world burning right in front of our faces?
Yeah, but a specific portion of the world is that Joe Biden is being nudged into making slave reparations happen in his first term. So, as I predicted the other day, this is just going to happen now. It's just that is something they're working on right now, trying to make it happen.
What a mistake.
White House senior advisor Cedric Richmond told Axios on HBO that it's doable for President Biden to make first-term progress on breaking down barriers for people of color while Congress studies reparations for slavery. That's going to be really interesting to see how it works, who receives the money, and apparently it's going to be all black people. I don't know what percentage of black you have to be, but all blacks will get it, whether you have slavery ancestors or not. And all whites will have to pay.
This will be the biggest mistake this country has made in a very long time, and
that's saying something.
Yes,
yeah.
it is. Yes, it is. Maybe he'll address this at his press conference. Oh, that's right. He hasn't had one, and tomorrow will be his 6th week in office.
Is that a problem? All right. Update on the Hyatt Hotel thing. We're going to tell you about that coming up. Great to have you with us. Tweet here from Orson Welles Fishbowl. How is there a mention of MJ without a children or shaman thrown in? Yeah, that's a good question.
How'd you let that one slip through?
I don't know. But I do love the children, the 12-year-old boy children.
Richest dead celebrity.
Yeah, I think towards the end of his life, he wasn't making that much money. Well, I mean, he made good money, but not the way he spent it.
Uh-huh.
And so
monkey diapers.
When he first died, he was making in the hundreds of millions of dollars for his estate. It was way more than he was making when he was alive. So I guess that's still the case. I mean, Dr. Seuss made $33 million, so he made something more than that last year. It's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And
for the children, of course.
Yeah. I bet he read a bunch of Dr. Seuss books to the children.
I bet he did.
While I gave them Jesus juice to drink.
Yeah.
As they read Dr. Seuss.
Mm-hmm.
It's horrifying that you would even bring that up, Keith.
Horrifying? What
horrifying.
Do you mean?
What kind of freak would even bring that up?
That's me. Someone pointed out on Twitter, a couple things have just cleared from your audience, that Dr. Seuss would have turned 117 years old today.
Oh, wow.
Happy birthday to you. You're canceled. And apparently the official Dr. Seuss website has already pulled those books.
Good for them. Boy, that was fast action. Good. Good. They realized they need to cancel themselves, and they did quickly. Hyatt Hotels, who we were just singing the praises yesterday.
What happened?
Because they actually, as I mentioned yesterday, it was almost as if they said, stick this up your rectal cavity to all the people who were yelling and screaming that they were going to be boycotting Hyatt because Hyatt allowed CPAC to hold their event at a Hyatt Regency.
It was a great press release that used all the liberal buzzwords in their face, too.
Yes, it did. And then at the end of it, though, we said, well, okay, are they going to be able to maintain? Will they stick to their guns? It's going to be interesting. It didn't take long.
Oh, come on.
They caved. Just that quickly. They caved already.
Wow.
They slammed yesterday both the organizers and the attendees of CPAC for proliferating hate symbolism.
What?
And showing hostility toward hotel employees in a sharp departure from what they said before. They criticized CPAC for having a stage design that has, quote, been compared to a symbol of hate.
I've heard this.
Okay, the stage was in a design that's a symbol of hate? In what way?
It was.
What was it?
An obscure. It was a shape that you really, really had to want it to be a hateful Nazi type symbol or whatever. I don't even know what it was. It was like a
resemblance to the Odal rune.
Right, exactly.
A symbol adopted by the Nazis during Hitler's rule in Germany. I have never even heard of this.
I'm going to try to find this.
There is no way CPAC tried to design the stage in an Odal rune design. Stop it.
I'll save you some trouble in the other room, Rob. I'm going to try to do my magic laptop again. Okay, so here... Dear God.
This is unbelievable.
This world sucks in amounts we can't even quantify. There's the Nazi symbol, okay?
Have you ever seen that before?
No, exactly. I
didn't know that was a Nazi symbol.
So is every freaking ribbon that has whatever awareness, is that also been a Nazi symbol? Because that's exactly what that is. Now, the stage, if I can find something, because it's so ridiculous to try to find this comparison. Let me see if I can zoom in on this. You got to click on it. Oh, there's a pop-up, which is always helpful.
While you do that, let me read the statement from Hyatt. When we learned that CPAC 2021 stage design had been compared to a symbol of hate.
Had been compared to, not was.
Had been compared to. We promptly raised this concern with meeting organizers who strongly denied any connection to such symbols. Yeah, of course they did, because that's ludicrous.
This is the most
Okay, there it is.
Obscene comparison ever.
It's asinine.
It's this thing on top. It's not even connected with these lights that are going down the side. It's just so time we spend talking about
trying to make something out of nothing.
Stupid crap.
Had we initially recognized the potential connections to hate symbolism, we would have proactively addressed it prior to commencement of the event. Unfortunately, this became clear to us only after the event kicked off.
I can't.
With CPAC's denial of any intentional connection to hate symbols and our concerns over the safety of guests and colleagues in what could have been a disruptive situation, we allowed the event to continue. We understand and respect the opinions of those who might disagree with that decision. Hyatt then released another statement calling the insignia abhorrent and unequivocally counter to our values as a company. Are you that stupid that you're just going to believe the freaks on Twitter? Really? That this is so... Oh, God, it's so ridiculous.
It's so stupid. And they found an out. They needed an out to placate the left. And just a reminder to Hyatt, the left is never placated. So congratulations. And this right here, I'm so sick and tired. You and I have been noticing every day how CNN... Every day, they spend like a half an hour at least on their show talking about QAnon broke up my family.
Yeah.
If you're going to go after the far extreme right with your bullcrap, you're not going to call out the conspiracy theorist that said that this was Nazi symbolism at CPAC? Shut up, you. Oh, my.
According to Matt Schlapp, who's the chairman of the American Conservative Union, they run CPAC. We have a long-standing commitment to the Jewish community. Cancel culture extremists must address anti-Semitism within their own ranks. CPAC proudly stands with our Jewish allies, including those speaking from the stage. I mean, it just goes without saying that they weren't trying to do any sort of Nazi symbolism in this.
I can't.
Oh, man. In keeping with our deep culture of inclusivity, our colleagues worked tirelessly to support this event while enforcing Hyatt's safety policies. At times, these efforts included reminding attendees to wear masks and socially distance, even while colleagues occasionally faced hostility from attendees who didn't support our policies. Well, yeah, when you're telling them, when they're there and it's their event, and if they get COVID-19, that's their issue, right? It's not Hyatt Regency's. They're not going to... I mean, are they mingling with the crowd who is not socially distanced? Further, we were extremely disappointed by the disrespect many individuals involved in the event showed to our colleagues, as it is reflective neither of our own commitment to care for members of the Hyatt family nor of how we wish to conduct business. So everything was fine until the outrage.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, the attendees are rude. The stage design was a Nazi one. They're full of hate. Come on now. Now I can't stand Hyatt. Now I'll never be staying at a Hyatt. Not that I stay at them on a regular basis.
Like where does
but my boycott of Hyatt will continue now.
Yeah. Like where does Pat Gray stay when he travels? Are you a Motel 6 guy?
Oh yeah, I'm a big time Motel 6 or Super 8.
Really?
Sometimes, yeah.
I mean, Tom Bodette, though, he leaves the light on for you.
He does.
And if you don't show up, then he wasted his time in his electricity.
A lot of wasted electricity. But I think he switched over to wind, so the light is powered by wind turbines.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that light's not on then.
All right, let me tell you about Omega XL. If you're in pain, like I was with inflammation in my elbow, man, this could be a life changer for you. Omega XL just simply shuts off the inflammation. It's got an off switch to it. It's backed by 35 years of clinical research. They've been doing this a really long time. And they've been able to put this Omega XL, the omega fatty acids, into a really tiny little gel cap that's super easy to take. And once this builds up in your system, I think you're going to find, like I did, that the inflammation goes away, and thus, so does your pain. And to get you started, when you order one bottle of Omega XL right now, you'll get a second bottle for free. So visit OmegaXL.com/Pat. That's OmegaXL.com/Pat. Or you could call 800-844-4888.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
I mean, how disappointing is that? That a company that shows that they have some giblets for a few minutes, then immediately turns around and caves in.
Yeah, they're like the Drew Brees of hotels now.
And I mean, on the most preposterous of charges.
The stage design was a completely unknown Nazi symbol.
Was it? Really? Okay.
They knew.
I mean, if you arranged it like a swastika, then you might say, okay, that was kind of obvious.
Yeah.
But they didn't, and they wouldn't.
I mean, seriously. I'm so sick and tired of hearing conspiracy theorists only live on the right.
Yes, right.
Really?
That's for sure.
Okay, that's cute.
Because listen to these people. It's frustrating. So frustrating. 888-900-3393. You know, the concept of cryonics has allowed a select few people, because I think this is pretty expensive, to be able to attempt to live forever by preserving their body in hopes of being woken up sometime in the future. I just stumbled on this article yesterday that shows there's a bunch of people who have frozen their bodies or just their heads, and then they hope that one day, once you find a cure to whatever killed them, they'll be able to give you that cure and then revive you.
Would you do that?
Probably not. No.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, just when I think of the future, I just think of tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow's going to be even more ridiculously insane than today. I sure as hell don't want to know what it's like 300, 400 years from now.
Now, apparently, since 2000 BC, they've been trying to do this kind of stuff.
Oh, wow.
2000
really?
BC.
I thought this was a modern phenomenon.
Ice houses were used to store food, and in the and then they also decided to freeze people and see if that works.
Wait, go get me some fish sticks. It's behind, the pharaoh's...
behind Bob.
It's behind Bob's head.
Pharaoh Bob.
Oh, that. I thought we were out of fish sticks. No, you just have to look behind the head. What in the...
I guess cryopreservation preserves cells, tissues, and organs or any biological construct by cooling to a very low temperature, like 196 below zero. The process relies on the belief that sometime in the future, of course, which could be 1,000 years, nobody knows, science will have advanced far enough to wake up the cryopreserved bodies. Now, who's done this? Not just celebrities. Some guy named Hal Finney, who was preserved in 2014 after dying of ALS. He was one of the earliest developers of Bitcoin. He died at 58 years old in 2014. He had ALS, and he spent some time on life support, but that was finally switched off, and his body was prepared for cryonic preservation, just as he asked. He learned he had ALS in 2009, but decided to sign up to be preserved at an early age. In 1992, he and his wife visited the Alcor facility that does this after taking an interest in cryonic freezing until a life-enhancing technology was invented. At the time, he said, in my personal opinion, anyone born today has a better than 50-50 chance of living effectively forever. So after he died, it was announced that, sure enough, they did preserve the guy. And they're going to unfreeze him as soon as they find a cure to ALS. Mm-hmm. That is not the case right now.
Yeah, Ted Williams had somewhere.
We're getting to that.
Oh, okay.
FM 2030, Iranian futurist, FM 2030, formerly known as Feridun Esfandiari. Mm-hmm. Originally, he died when he was 69 years old in the year 2000. And he had his name changed because it was just too hard to say for me. So he changed it to FM 2030.
Oh, I thought that was a highway near here.
You do. That's amazing.
That's what they call them in Texas, farm to market.
But he hoped to live until his 100th birthday in 2030, and that's why I guess he changed his name to that. But he didn't get there. So he had also said, I'm a 21st century person who was accidentally launched in the 20th century. I have a deep nostalgia for the future. So his body was flash frozen and in just minutes rather than slow freezing like most people do. And yes, Ted Williams. But Ted Williams...
This is bad.
is preserved only with his severed head. Wow.
Yeah, that one.
He died in 2002 at 83 after having a heart attack. Though his official will stated that he was to be cremated, his kids chose to have his remains frozen. That's because, according to the lawyer, Ted Williams and his kids had made an informal family pact in a handwritten note to be put into biostasis after we die to be able to be together in the future, even if it's only a chance. Huh. That's interesting. I wonder if Ted Williams is he an atheist? Do you think that you'll never see your family again? Is there not a process? Has not been taken care of by a loving God? His head is kept in a pot, according to ABC News.
Yeah.
His frozen head is in a pot.
But you know what happened to it, right? Is that in the story?
It says he lays frozen in Scottsdale, Arizona, while his body has been desecrated and destroyed. I don't know how that happened. So where did you
Okay, well, his brain apparently, when they froze it, has 10 or 12 cracks in it because of the extreme cold.
Wait, that kind of defeat the purpose?
Yeah. And so,
What?
And so he never signed that piece of paper, by the way, that informal little agreement.
Okay.
I mean, at this point, if your brain has 10 to 12 cracks in it, do you want to come back? Because you might end up not liking the situation, let's just say.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a strange ordeal with Ted Williams and his kids and the freezing process, but...
that is weird. That's weird. James Bedford is a guy who I think he was the very first one to do this in modern times. He was born in 1893, and his body remains at the Alcor Life Extension Foundation. He suffered from kidney cancer, used his own funds to pay for his preservation. He even left $100,000 to cryonics research in his will. So just hours after his death, his body was frozen in a stored vacuum flask. Okay.
Oh,
that's great.
Wow.
So I'm sure he'll be fine when they wake him back up. He'll be happy and fine. It's an interesting concept, isn't it? Because you almost have to be, don't you almost have to be an atheist to believe this is workable? Because if you believe in God, you believe in your soul or your spirit, which would have left your body when you died. Is it coming back into your body 100 years later, or 1,000 years later, or 10,000 years later?
Then you can report back to us how awesome the afterlife was, or how bad it was.
Right.
So wait a minute, real quick. What was the name of the guy, the first guy that got it done? Because what year was that?
James Bedford.
James Bedford.
Doesn't say the year he died.
Well, we're
he just
find
was
out.
born in 1893.
Okay, because we need to find out how long this has been happening right here. 1967.
Wow.
Oh, man.
67. So they've been doing this for a really long time.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. If it's 1,000 years down the road, I mean, everybody, 100 years from now, everybody you know, everybody you loved, they're all dead and gone. Society's changed completely. Who knows what the world is going to look like at that point? I mean, you are waking up to something you have no idea about.
Right, and you just said 1,000 years in the future. Just take someone like Thomas Jefferson. If he appeared today, 250 years in the future, he'd lose his mind seeing what we've become.
Yes, he would. There'd be cracks in his brain.
There'd be cracks in his brain just from observing our world.
Yes.
I don't know that I want even the chance to come back 1,000 years from now.
It's kind of crazy.
And by the way, if you are looking to bring Thomas Jefferson back, his head's behind the fish sticks.
Okay.
When you're out there in the deep freezer.
Yeah.
It's just back right.
All right.
Yeah.
It's behind the fish sticks.
Behind the fish sticks.
Okay.
Because when Bob's head was in front of the fish sticks, behind the fish sticks, Thomas Jefferson.
Okay. I'll look for that. And, the severed head thing, you're counting on technology that could reattach your head to a body of somebody's body, or an android or a robot, or good luck with that.
Yeah, Ted Williams ain't playing baseball again.
I don't care if it's 1,000 years in the future. That's going to be hard to accomplish technology-wise. Okay, you've severed the head. Haven't you sort of destroyed a lot of connections there that
I don't know
you're going to need.
Okay.
Doesn't seem workable to me.
And bear with the analogy here, Pat, but idiocracy. Guy gets frozen, wakes up in the future, and you see the trajectory that we're on as a society. That's exactly where we're headed. He's going to be, you will be the smartest person in society by a long shot based on the rate we're going.
Yep.
And it's depressing as hell.
Sure is. Speaking of futurist stuff, NASA is saying that the trip to Mars can only be understood through the black perspective. Today we make it official. Join us from Hidden Figures Way as we celebrate the renaming of our headquarters building in honor of Mary W. Jackson, the first African-American female engineer at NASA. The trip to Mars can only be understood through black Americans. Huh.
What's with the sniffs, man?
It's just interesting.
Coming down with something?
I got a little cold. A little bit of a cold.
You should probably go see a doctor. Okay, so now we shouldn't even pay attention to Mars because
I guess not.
We can't understand.
We can't understand
black experience.
Cannot understand it. I can't really understand this story either. Scientists have just videoed space-time crystals. For the first time ever, researchers were able to catch space-time crystals on camera using a transmission X-ray microscope. Time crystals aren't the subject of some sci-fi novel. They're the time-space progression of crystals, a solid material made up of a crystal lattice, a highly ordered collection of atoms. Time crystals not only form a repeating atomic lattice structure, they occur symmetrically over time as well, continuously rearranging themselves to periodically form their original structure.
Wow.
And we just filmed all that.
Really?
Yeah.
Where's the YouTube video?
Isn't that weird?
Oh my gosh, these sound cooler than Infinity Stones.
And it's interesting because just the other day in my garage lab, I was able to create a quantum singularity by using a spatial distortion.
Did you?
So, yeah, and I filmed the whole thing. Maybe I'll get that up on Twitter or YouTube today. So
maybe you will?
Maybe. I'm not sure yet.
Well, that's kind of cool. Did you do it on one of those snow days when you couldn't go anywhere?
Yeah, I did.
You're like, you know what?
Yeah. You know what? I think I'll create a quantum singularity. And so I did. And it's kind of fun.
And then Jackie was inside the house going, oh, that's neat. I'm going to be designing a new cookie.
And she did.
For Exy.com.
Right. Kexi.
Kexi.com. Like I just got done
saying. Or whatever it is.
K-E-K-S-I.
Yes. S-Y. No, it's S-I. You're right.
Yes!
Yes, you were
yes!
right.
Redeem myself for screwing up the name. He screwed up the spelling. Kexi.com.
All right. Tomorrow, we weren't able to get to this important story.
What?
But we will, I hope, tomorrow. There's a journalist who was tortured in Syria, and he has shown us how that was just a lot like what happened on January 6th at the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. Same kind of people that tortured him were running it rampant through the Capitol building. Yeah, we'll tell you about that, that and a lot more tomorrow right here.
Pat Gray, only on the Blaze Radio Network.